Objections and responses.
How could a cover-up this extensive be maintained over decades?
Sister Lucy Truth currently does not have enough information to know exactly how the cover-up occurred, or was maintained for so long. The only thing we have is the irrefutable scientific and forensic evidence that there were two Sister Lucys. Nevertheless, we can still speculate, based upon what we do know about the case, how it would have been possible to get away with the substitution. In retrospect, what made the cover-up easy to maintain for decades was the inability to share extensive photographs, videos, and handwriting samples from Sister Lucy dos Santos before and after 1960. With the advent of the internet, spreading this information and accessing it has become much easier and almost instantaneous. For the first time in history we can see with our own eyes how Sister Lucy appeared and wrote, throughout her entire life. Imagine a person seeing Sister Lucy in May of 1967 or in magazine accounts in June of that same year. They would not remember how she looked in the decades before. They would have nothing to compare her appearance with. Before instant communication and the sharing of photographs, any replacement would go unnoticed by most. We know that after her interview with Father Fuentes on December 26, 1957, we have neither authentic photographic or graphological evidence that Sister Lucy dos Santos, the Carmelite from the Carmel of Coimbra, who was the primary seer at the apparitions at Fatima from May until October 1917, was still alive. The situation appears more suspect when we consider that in July 1959, after claiming that Father Fuentes lied about much that he had reported concerning his interview with Sister Lucy, the Diocese of Coimbra issued a statement that said, "Sister Lucia has nothing more to say on Fatima." This is very suspicious since her main mission in life was to spread the message of Fatima that had been given to her by the Blessed Virgin Mary. According to John Haffert, a Blue Army founder and famous chronicler of the Fatima apparitions, John XXIII, after 1959, authorized only persons who had the approval of the Vatican to speak with Sister Lucy. The awkwardness concerning this situation ended when an impostor, who perfectly reflected the attitudes and ideas of the modernists occupying the Vatican, was brought before the cameras, both in 1967, and after the assassination attempt on John Paul II in 1981. The woman who appeared as Sister Lucy continued to do so until her death in 2005. This astounding cover-up is now beginning to unravel. With the use of modern technology and contemporary modes of medical and forensic analysis, more and more people are able to educate themselves concerning this gravely disturbing situation. Fatima suddenly takes on a whole new light. We at Sister Lucy Truth publicly declare that based on the evidence presented here, we have found it to be morally and scientifically certain that the woman portrayed to the world as Sister Lucy, from her first public appearance on May 13, 1967, to her death on February 13, 2005, was not the same person as Sister Lucy, seer of Fatima and visionary who predicted the miracle of the sun on October 13, 1917. This, one of the greatest frauds in the history of the Church, was discovered through the use of the most sophisticated facial recognition programs available, along with the accumulated testimony of plastic surgeons, orthodontists, forensic artists, private investigators, handwriting analysts, and facial recognition experts. Due to the availability of hundreds of photos of Sister Lucy on the internet and in authoritative biographies, this case of substitution, fraud, and stolen identity has been able to be uncovered and analyzed. Without the judgment of the best and most relevant professionals available, we would not be making this grave accusation and presenting this charge. We will continue to accumulate and post on this site new studies and research concerning this investigation as they are produced and published. All of the names of the relevant experts shall be published along with their professional findings. The truth of the disappearance of the true Sister Lucy and the identity of the impostor who took her place shall be placed before an internationally based private investigator who will investigate and solve the case. The fraud has been identified and named. We charge the highest officials in the Vatican with conspiracy to perpetuate and conceal the substitution of Sister Lucy dos Santos of Fatima with an as yet unknown impostor. See our investigation at sisterlucytruth.org.